All right, here we go. Got our first match set up, and holy hell, this is a wacky looking hand. 3 Ghost Quarters. I don't think there's any matchup where that's good. Even Tron. This looks a lot better. This needs to survive in order to Stoneforge Mystic for anything. I think I hide this guy. It's weird because if I could keep all 7, like I could maybe just hardcast this guy, but given the scenario here, if I put this away, that's the only way I'm going to have access to enough lands for it to matter. I think I have to put the Batterskull away. Alright. So, here's hoping it's not burn. If it is, Blast Zone helps a little bit against the 1 drops, but that really only buys me time. It just prolongs my death. Darksleek Shores. Okay, so no Fatal Push, please? Oh, there's a Fatal Push. Okay, well, find some white mana and I'm in business. No. Play another forest. Now, there's still hope. Casting this Courser is going to be pretty strong against a blue-based control deck, I would imagine. Okay, it looks like it might be Faeries. Yes. Okay, that's tricky. Now, all those tokens are going to be trouble for me. But they are black. So, resolving Feast and Famine against them will be quite strong. If I can do that. It's a big if. Or maybe with all these Coursers, I can just like totally out life gain him and have him kill himself with his Bitter Blossom. That's a possibility. Okay, now I've got white. Thank you. Ramunap Excavator, how convenient. Goes after my land. I find the Ramunap. That's another way he's going to kill himself, I suppose. Alright, land on top. Oh, okay, fine. I don't see why not. Let's do it. Jing. This is looking pretty good, actually. My opponent's low on blue mana, so they're not going to be casting Cryptic Command anytime soon. A Spellstutter Sprite does almost nothing against me at this point, except for stops a path, I suppose. Well, that's not true. I suppose Bitter Blossom counts as... I didn't even consider. Spellstutter Sprite is not just counter-target 1 mana spell. I am totally wrong about that. That would be pretty strong against me. Okay. Let's get in there. Oh, he's got a Mutavault. Huh. Well, if he's willing to throw away a Mutavault with 3 mana, I think I'm signing up for that game. Let's go for it. Snapcaster Fatal Push, on the other hand, is a little scarier. Fatal Push doesn't do anything to me now, but after combat, it's going to be live to destroy one of my dudes. Which means I should not be casting Tireless Tracker right now. Can't really afford to lose that. I'm going to pass through this next turn because my opponent has seen everything in my hand and on the top of my library at this point, so there are really no surprises. I'm not going to be able to bluff a path to Exile, unfortunately. Oh, there goes my tracker. Well then. Okay, it's good as he's getting aggressive. So if I find a land on the top of my deck, I can play Courser into Stoneforge Mystic, which is pretty cool. But it's not. It's a Scooze. I think I do want to just resolve the Stoneforge at this point because it is uncounterable when I put the artifact into play. So my opponent's going to need to find a Thoughtseize, another Thoughtseize, to get through it. I would think that Sword of Feast and Famine is pretty strong against him. I'm shuffling my deck, so there's a chance that I find another land too. Yes, and I do. All right, cool. Now I just cast the Feast and Famine. That's even better, so I don't even have to worry about it. So, arguably, there's not a need to do that because 1 extra mana would allow me to put it into play with Stoneforge Mystic and then equip. But like I said, the Thoughtseize is something I fear quite a bit right now, and I don't want to be risking my sword to that. So, only makes sense to completely tap out at this point. Do I equip first, though? That's the question. Yeah, I think I do, because I want to make sure one of my creatures is going to be able to hold this thing. And let's put it on Stoneforge, I think. Protection black. Now, Mutavault is not black. So we could do, he could play Mutavault, he can activate Mutavault and Snapcaster double block, which I think I'm okay with. I'll trade my Stoneforge for that. Now after sideboarding, I can bring in I can bring in Fire and Ice and Feast and Famine. But still, this is colorless, and that remains a problem. Alright, we'll get after him. Now, not tapping out here before combat is so that I can put a counter on Blast Zone, because Blast Zone on 2 is going to be super relevant. I can pick off the Bitter Blossom, which is going to be important, but also if there's a surprise Snapcaster block going on at any point in time, I can get a little bit extra value out of that too. Now, it's going to kill my Stoneforge Mystic. I'm okay with that in exchange for Bitter Blossom, of course. Which, in this scenario, he's blocking anyway. It doesn't really matter. But this is very good. Okay, now what's happening? Uh-oh. Click. Huh. Okay, so if he's going to click me and get this tracker, I'm going to draw this Knight of the Reliquary, which means I should have played a Plains, or I should have left a Plains untapped. Yeah, ouch. Okay. However, this isn't the worst thing. I think I still want this Courser. Just more dudes. And these outclass the Vendilion Click too, which is good news. Yeah, he's at 9, I'm at 21. I think this is a safe play. All right. Woo. Got it. Just so much value. I can have 1 card in hand, and it's just like I have so many options. Guess that's why they call it Value Town, huh? All right. So, game 2. We're going to bring this guy in. These guys come in. This guy probably. I don't think we want Batterskull. We want Sword of Fire and Ice, though. Bojuka Bog is tempting. I think Bojuka Bog can replace a Ghost Court. No, I don't think that's necessary. Well, let's see. Knight of Autumn's good here. Kill the Bitter Blossom. But is there any other target for it? I suppose it's just the Bitter Blossom they really care about. We'll cut down on Coursers a little bit. I'll come back to this Bojuka Bog thing. I'm still thinking about that. Maybe fewer Stoneforge Mystics, to be honest. I like Aven as a surprise blocker, but the searching isn't a huge deal, except for my own pass and Ghost Quarters. Down to 3 Stoneforge seems right. I like Collected Company in this matchup. We've got big mana, so we need to keep this stuff going on. Blaststone is going to be important. I should try to find a way for this Bojuka Bog to get in here, because if I have an active Knight of the Reliquary, that seems pretty strong, right? I think that's worth it. I need the Ghost Quarters for the Mutavault, obviously, but tangentially, they also just do a good job of going on the resource denial plan for my opponent. Perhaps Shalai is not good enough. I think maybe I cut Shalai. Not worry so much about that. It outclasses a lot of the flyers, but I don't think it really matters so much. Maybe Lyra is a little overkill too. Now we'll keep Lyra. Let's cut down on 1 Coco. And we'll lose another Courser. Alright, let's try it. My hope is that Voice of Resurgence completely takes over this game, but that's going to depend on whether or not my opponent finds an early Bitter Blossom to put all the chumps up. So we shall see. Okay, this hand is interesting. So I've got security for Bitter Blossom so long as it doesn't get Thought Seized. It's a little slow, but we'll try it. If I can draw Noble Hierarch or Birds of Paradise right here, I will be very happy. Another path. Doesn't suck. No Shadow of Doubt. That would suck. That card's a total blot. Hey, there's a very late Noble Hierarch, but it'll do. Perhaps cracking for green would have been wise so that I could leave path mana open without having to shock myself. Maybe it doesn't matter. If I can bait my opponent's removal or counterspell here, that would be fine too, since this is so irrelevant at this point. Okay, so there's that. So here's what you can do with Spell Starter Sprite. You can path it with that trigger on the stack and keep your dude alive. And I think that it's actually worth doing right here. Even though I just described how irrelevant this is. I'm going to be needing a lot of mana in this case. And this allows me now to then play Tireless Tracker next turn into Ghost Quarter. But it also rams my opponent to Cryptic Mana on turn 3, so that's kind of nasty. That's the bad side of this. Okay, Fatal Push. He's really committed to killing this thing. So be it. Okay, 2 mana. I don't think this deck plays Logic Knot. I almost want to just like get this out there so I don't have to worry about it dying, but there's also no way to revolt a Fatal Push to kill my Tireless Tracker if he can't do it initially. So we'll start with Tracker. Yeah, I've got Ghost Quarter for Creeping Tar Pit. That's another good target that I didn't consider. Alright, here's something's coming. Mana Leak, okay. Fair enough. No. Well, he's doing a good job of keeping up with my spells, that's for sure. Ugh. I think the sword goes. Maybe the Knight of Autumn goes. Yeah, okay, so that means that there's probably a Bitter Blossom lingering in those 3 cards, or here it is right now. Oh, shit, Liliana. That's nasty. Jesus. So I can play Courser into Liliana. I don't really have many other choices. I think I kind of have to. There's gonna be discarding spells, so that's good. Lots of creature lands. Alright, we'll do this now for the life. Then maybe the surprise of what I'm going to draw next turn is more valuable. Oh, yes, it was. You live and you learn. Now, I didn't grab a white source. Probably grabbing right source was the right move. I did that a little too fast because I want to have path open for this Creeping Tar Pit. But now that he knows I have a Coco, he won't be casting or activating his Creeping Tar Pit. There's only one card in hand right now. It must be a counter spell or some kind of removal spell. I think I'm going to get rid of the path in this case because the sword is just so valuable. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of the path. Hopefully I can resolve a Coco and keep at least one creature around. It's definitely got a Cryptic here though, right? Snapcaster, Mana Leak. Just as good. Alright, Coco off the top. I'd be okay with that. Knight of the Reliquary. Okay, so the good news here is if he -2s kill my Knight of the Reliquary, there will be a turn of needing to tick up at least before he can -2 again. And if that's the case, the last -2 is going to eat his Lily. I do think it's time to deal with this. But Coco off the top requires mana. I'm going to take the damage for right now. Come on, critter. That's good. Okay, cool. So once again, though, I'm going to need to take the 5 if he attacks. I don't think he will. But I would need to take the 5 if he attacks because... Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm going to be discarding a card anyway. I say I want to find 5 mana so I can cast Sword of Fire and Ice, put it on my dude, and attack, but totally discounted the Liliana discard. Okay, this is adding up. It's time. Just about the best thing I could draw right now is a fetch land. And maybe I just enabled a Fatal Push, didn't I? Yep. Kind of had it all. Well, this is not very... This is pretty lackluster, that's for sure. You can try it anyway. I don't think it's time to concede yet, but we're getting damn close. I could draw another Miracle Collected Company off the top of my deck. That would be a thing, but unlikely. Let's see. No, it's just a fetch land. Okay, well, we can attack Liliana. keep her at 2. That's all you can really ask for at this moment. Liliana makes Stoneforge pretty bad off the top of your deck. By the way, I'm keeping this around so I can make a treasure if I find a Tireless Tracker. Down to 2. Not what I was looking for. All right. We almost stabilized there. I think that taking the 5 was probably like the next level play. Like I should have seen that Fatal Push coming, but only because the attack was so strange. I guess it wasn't strange because he knew I had the Ghost Quarter, so it was a pretty good play. Kind of baiting out that Revolt. All right, so Shalai is pretty tough to Fatal Push. Maybe I got to work one of those in there. Well, I didn't really consider Cataclysmic Gearhulk, but if he's going to swarm me with tokens, that might be the right thing to do too. Or Engineered Explosives for that matter. Put the Collected Company back in. On the play, I might have a better time of pressuring my opponent enough to actually do that. Let's get rid of one of the Stoneforges. He's really... I didn't see anything that could deal with a resolved artifact. There's got to be something in the deck. Maybe it's Detention Sphere or something that can deal with... Or not Detention Sphere. He's only a blue back. There's really not much, I suppose. So we'll keep that in. Let's cut 1 Knight of the Reliquary. We'll try that. Give it a shot. Thing is, I've got all these big, aggressive creatures on the ground, but it doesn't really matter when he's got all the flying chump blockers in the world. How come I can't have any 2-drops or 1-drops? I know this deck is like 3-drop deck, but man, this is pretty rough here. I don't think I can really keep this. It's 3 lands and creatures that cost 3, but 7 cards in hand. There's bound to be a Thoughtseize or 2 to pick this apart. Okay, we'll try this. We're going to pitch. Ugh. I think we got to get rid of a Ghost Quarter. Yeah. All right. If he Fatal Pushes my Noble Hierarch, I'm going to cry. Let's see, it's just a tapped land. Just a regular old tap land. All right, Thoughtseize is pretty bad. Okay, Serum Vision's pretty innocuous at this point. I know it leads to much worse things down the road, but it means that I am going to be able to resolve my Knight of the Reliquary. So that's good. Or do I want to just do this? No. I take this opportunity. Well, that's nice. Okay. Let's see. So this would allow Knight of the Reliquary to be Collective Brutality proofed, and it might not be a factor, but I think it might be worth doing. Let's do it. Just that slight edge. I'm gonna have to fetch a Temple Garden because I want all the green mana I can find for my Skoos, and I definitely need white. Oops. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay. We'll play Ghost Quarter before anything weird goes on. So I've got the option to pump my Knight of the Reliquary if needed. I don't think there would be any scenario where I would need to do that, but it's a thing that can happen. Alright, so this is probably a counterspell. Probably a mana leak. Yeah. Fair enough. Looks like my opponent missed a land drop, though. Oh, no, I suppose they didn't. I went first. Okay, Liliana. Not so scared about that right now, to be honest. Target player sacrifices a creature. Okay, I'm going to choose this one. Ooh, that is very good. I really need to kill that Lily, though. Yeah. That thing has to go. Okay. Well, as nice as it would be to crack for a fetch land and then, like, get a bunch of clues with my tracker, I don't think that was the right plan. 3, 4. So if this is not another Liliana the Veil. Okay, Seer of Visions. That is very nice. Because now we're going to cast a Sword of Fire in the Ice and go off. It's actually pretty damn nasty. So I'm going to be attacking for 7, drawing a card. Protection from blue. Getting 2 clues. Top, bottom. Oh, okay. Didn't consider a land drop being a possibility. Oh, shit. All right, there's the Inquisition. I wonder if he didn't just draw that from off the top of his deck. Let's see, I might want to keep a forest open. I don't need to use a Ghost Quarter, so we'll do this. See what we draw. Other planes, okay. Do we just crack again and draw another card? Or do we go for the value play here and find a bunch of clues? I think it's that. Then we can crack 2 more clues. We'll do this now. Oh, no blocks. Okay. I suppose I could put one more clue into that, but I might as well leave this one unknown in case I'm getting Inquisitioned. This might be a damnation situation here. I would attack first if that's the case. No, Liliana. Okay. Not so bad. Yeah, I feel like I need to sacrifice the tracker. Believe it or not. Yeah, I have extra copies of Tracker, and I'm going to be finding more clues with the fetch lands. Ooh, Aven Mindcensor is really good. Do I want that, though? I think I do. Oh, man, that's so strong. Okay, well, I definitely have to attack Liliana and at least make him block. Or not, and just die. Okay, well, I don't know. I think the value here is just too good to pass up on. So I can put the Aven Mindcensor into play. In response to like a fetch or something. But I suppose purely having a 2-1 flyer is going to be good anyway. This is another Lily. Jace. Interesting. Okay. Correct play would be probably to bounce something and then block and protect the Jace. So this Mindcensor would be very strong if that's what he's going to do. Turn target creature to its owner's hand. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm all about that. Another land, no Fatal Push, please. Surprise. It's kind of perfect, given that that Jace has 2 loyalty on it. Ooh, there's a path. Okay. Well, let's do... I think maybe it's time to go after the lands, actually. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 for this dude. Do we just, like, make sure it's dead? I guess there's no fear of Fatal Push because he hasn't lost a permanent yet this turn. Did I do that right? This is attacking Jace. Yes. Okay. I don't think it's necessary to crack right now. I need to save my mana for what's to come. Oh, got one. All right. Fine. All right, we got there. Cool. So that was encouraging. I suppose that's probably a pretty decent matchup for us, but there are definitely some scenarios where that could go terribly wrong, like the aforementioned Bitter Blossom Swarm plan. So I was fearing that a lot, but as you can see, the deck just has so much card draw. It has so much, it has a lot of functionality to it that applies in many different ways. So the Destroy the Lands plan is very good against decks that are hungry for mana. A little risky, as you could see. They found a land. We got a little lucky with that the last time we tried it. I don't know if I'm going to even upload that first video because it was very sloppy, so you might not know what I'm talking about. But the Aven Mindcensor is really cool in the deck. I think purely just to have a flyer against like planeswalkers that you can flash into play at end of turn, that's really good. It's a great out to Liliana of the Veil, for one. Because often Liliana's going to go down to 2 and leave you like trying to top deck creatures to like get through it, which is really tough to do. It's a very uphill battle. So Aven Mindcensor is like perfect for that. Collected Company helps a lot, obviously, too. But I'm really not sold on the equipment at this point in time. I think they're good. And like I said, this is a deck that can support hard casting them, which I really like. Not a lot of other like low to the ground creature decks can get to 5 mana pretty reliably to cast a Sword of Fire and Ice when it matters. So I think it's kind of interesting here. I think it's very good here. All right, we'll go on to another game. Thanks for watching.